Welcome back to this second week of short presentations on marketing for busy librarians. These next three mini presentations will focus on your audience and your message. We've talked about the broad picture and the necessary conditions to grow your marketing efforts, and we've touched on goals and objectives and community research. Now that you've developed one or more goals and articulated a measurable objective or two, gathered a lot of information about your community, and I hope kept the buzz alive on your staff, we're ready to talk about segmenting the audience so you can tailor the message to their needs and wants. The notion of audience segmentation is simple. It's easier to accomplish pretty much anything in bite-sized chunks. Trying to market to everyone all at once leads to unfocused activities and guesswork. We want everyone to know more about the library is a rational statement, but it doesn't provide much guidance as to what specific marketing activities to undertake. If you've got 50,000 people or 500,000 people, many shades of gray, how do you specifically reach them? If you think of people in particular segments or groups, it becomes easier. Some marketers even recommend that you imagine an individual person you're talking to, someone who represents the larger audience segment you're reaching. Picture a family, an elder, a teenager, someone who's never used the library, whatever your target segment might be. And imagine how you might tell them about the library in a way that will excite them or at least pique their interest. Audience segmentation or targeting should be based on the goals and objectives you've already set. And again, refer to your library's strategic plan and your town or county or state goals. If services to elders or workforce development or early literacy are priorities in your general environment, then you will have some guidance as to where to focus your marketing efforts. It can be by age. We want more seniors to use our services. Or by socioeconomic segment. We have great services for the underemployed. We want to get them in here. Or new retirees are moving here in droves. What do we have for them? Or the degree to which they use the library. Let's get some of the people who visit the website and download books to come into the library programs. Or simply, let's find out who's not using the library and why, and work on getting them in here. Once you've focused on an audience, it's time to think of what message about the library it is you want to send them. And again, consider how you can best frame the message for the particular group you're trying to reach. Remember that mind-boggling, gorgeous, rich list of services and resources that our libraries offer to their communities? When you're thinking about how to get your message across to a particular audience, don't be tempted to shout this list from the rooftops. You are rightfully proud of everything you do, but in today's crowded information environment, people generally can't take the time to see the forest for the trees unless you help them. Keep your message simple and focus on one area or service. Value proposition is a pretty trendy term right now, so you'll probably come across it as you embark on this marketing adventure. There are many definitions out there, but this explanation by Allison Circle from a Library Journal article in 2009 is one of the clearest. Your value will be most apparent to customers or patrons in the sweet spot where your audience's needs and desires, that's both thoughts and feelings too, intersect with your best, most unique services. What is important to many elders, for example, especially the growing subset of new retirees? Maintaining an agile mind, keeping in touch with family, continued appreciation of literature, maybe learning something new or planning a trip. What library services serve those desires? Open University, language software programs, for example. And emphasize that these are available for no out-of-pocket fees, many available 24/7. There is expert help available when first navigating them. all those things that are strong library abilities. So, to repeat or recap here, when articulating the library message for a particular audience, keep it simple. If you have enticed someone to your website, for example, to take an online language course, they will discover many of your other riches on their own, just as they browse the bookshelves. And you're saying this message over and over again in as many places as you can. You might get really sick of it, but you're taking it everywhere you can and using it at meetings, word of mouth, your website, print materials, social media. We'll get into some of the details of those in next presentations. Repetition will build ambient awareness. This is an important concept where people will just sort of know about the library and know that it's an exciting place with a lot of options and services. And then they'll think to go there as the need arises. As an example of the importance of building ambient awareness, think about how often you buy a car. Whether you're an annual new car person or keep it in till it dies on the road kind of car owner, you are exposed to hundreds or maybe thousands of advertisements for automobiles and mentions of automobiles over the course of a year. And you have an image of particular makes and models in your mind long before you make a decision to buy one. Honda, Toyota, GM, Ford, all of them are competing to become top of your mind well before you go out to actually buy a new car. Such frequent and ubiquitous messages build trust and support. If the library message is out and about and everywhere, people will get a general sense that our library sure does a lot of things for people. There's always something going on, which leads to use, support, and top-of-mind understanding. I think I'll go to the library when they have a question. And you're tailoring your message to the people you are trying to reach. Let's say your message, again an example, has to do with seniors using online services. You might say something like, the library is your partner in keeping your mind young and agile. And then you can go on to talk about in what ways you can do that. One key point about message crafting bears repeating in many ways. Emphasize the benefits to the people you're trying to reach, not a list of all the cool stuff you have or even that you do. Ned Potter, the author of the Library Marketing Toolkit, gives a clear example of tailoring a message to a particular audience. A technologically savvy 30-year-old, he says, who uses the library as a source of information about emerging trends and a networking space, attributes a different value to the library than a retired person who enjoys the chance to read today's newspaper in a peaceful and comfortable environment. It's important to think of messages that will describe benefits to the people we're trying to reach. But any audience can hear you better if you put it in terms of benefit. In other words, you're describing benefits, not inventory. Another example, coming up here. A few examples are, here's one. Grandchildren visiting? Keep them entertained at the library and discover other cool things to do with kids in our community. Or for parents, give your kids an edge at school. Join us at the STEM program at the library. Or your nonprofit board holding a meeting? Check out the library's meeting spaces. I think you're getting the idea of benefits here. This is the end of this short presentation, and to recap, segment your audience and create a simple message that emphasizes the benefits you offer them, and then repeat it in as many ways and places as you can. For a little homework, think about audiences and messages for your particular library. Make a little list and be very specific. And last but not least, spend the next few days observing your own consumer choices. What was it that made you stop at Waffle House instead of Starbucks? Or how did you choose the last film you went to? Think about all the influences on you that encourage you to spend not only your money, but your time with a particular product or service. Next time, we're going to dig in and talk about some very specific matters: branding, print materials, and your website. See you next time.